I'm Dean. I'm the dad.
I'm Laura. I'm the mom.
And I'm Kristlyn. I'm the daughter.
And together we are
Family Plot.
I like it. You're actually even doing my hand gestures now.
I'm all about the hand gestures. It's been a busy week.
I'll hand gesture at some point.
Well,
As long as you keep it clean, remember this is a family-friendly show.
Yeah, if she doesn't drop any more F-bombs. Had to beep her last week. I've never had to bleep you before.
Well, she is 13, almost 14. Hey, we're coming up on a Krista birthday.
Wow.
I wonder when my birthday is.
The day of the week?
Yeah.
We can find out. I've got a calendar right here on my handy-dandy computer. Your birthday is on a Saturday this year.
Darn.
Ooh.
So we're going to record on Wednesday before my birthday.
Mm-hmm. And then record on Wednesday after your birthday.
Yep. It's your birthday. Party like. It's your birthday. Shorty, it's your birthday.
Wait. 9.
She's not short. She's almost as tall as you are, Daddy.
That's shoddy, not shorty.
Okay.
Uh-oh, there I go again, making Dad sad.
Let's just get into the show, shall we?
Well, if we must. So we're changing things up a little this week.
Yes, actually, we will be changing things up a little going forwards. Krista will still have her own segment. It just won't be facts. She's 13, and they keep adding more work to her at school, and it's just too much to expect her to look up facts that have nothing to do with school. So now, each week, she will pick something that she knows about, and she will talk about it and why she likes it and why it's cool.
Yeah.
Everything from fursuits to Genshin Impact to...
Well, really what I'm, interested in that week, because I'm a very interested person.
You are. And interesting as well.
Yep.
So that's a change that's coming, and Laura will have her own segment. Like this week, she is actually presenting one of the 2 subjects of this week's podcast.
I'm going to do my best.
So, anyway, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Basically, if you'd like to help out the podcast, and boy, we need it.
Boy, do we need it.
First things first, you can do Patreon, which is a monthly donation, 1, 3, 5, and 10. You can really break it up into one of 3 groups: Team Bunny, Team Spa Day, Team Podcast. Doesn't matter; it all goes the same place, really. And at each level, you get special bonus stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, it's a simple monthly donation you can sign up for. If you can't do a monthly thing, I understand that. You can always do Buy Me a Coffee, which is just a one-time donation of any amount. And if you can't do that, well, what we say is if you enjoy the show, please share it on social media so that way others can find out about it. If you don't enjoy the show, keep it to yourself. See, we get along.
Sometimes. I threw popcorn at him.
There was much popcorn throwing going on.
Don't worry, I picked it up.
There was much. Tonight, we come to our home state of Missouri to focus our attention on a couple of local cryptids. Specifically, Momo, the Missouri Monster, who may yet be another name worn by Sasquatch, as Momo is a large, hairy hominid seen in and around Missouri since the 70s. Then we look into the Ozark Howler, a cat-like cryptid that has been seen and heard stalking the Ozarks in this local paranormal episode of the Family Plot Podcast. But before we get into any of that, it's time to check in with Krista.
Hey, can we make like a musical, like a little, like da 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 da? It's time
You mean
to
a sting?
check in with Krista.
You mean a sting?
Yes, it's
Can I sing that? I thought that was really cute. It's time to check in with Krista. Krista. Okay, we'll workshop it. It's all right. Go on, babe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my corner. This time it is not a fact corner. However, we still have the same posters kept up on our walls.
That is true.
Today
We did not change the decor because Krista was going to change what she did. Go ahead.
I mean, we still have the
Joker and Pike and the Angel Devil box
cat thing,
and the fairy.
D&D stuff.
The medieval disco.
We still have
medieval decor.
yeah.
I still got to find Rick and get him up here somewhere.
We still
I
have
think Rick's in the pantry. We'll look.
we still have George.
George the duck. Yeah.
I thought George
the
was a goose.
He is. I always mess that up.
Yeah, George the goose.
He's
He
a
holds
pretty
our
little
cookies.
white goose. He is very pretty
He is a white goose, but he makes me sad.
because there's no cookies in George.
Yes, there is no delicious cookies.
I can make cookies this weekend.
You have been able to make cookies for weeks, and you have yet to make them for us, child.
I can make cookies this week.
Okay.
We have Friday off. Anyways, we still have the memories of past facts, therefore we're not changing the decor in the facts.
Oh, see, I
corner.
thought she was going to say we have the memories of past cookies. I was like, yes, but past cookies will not fill my tummy.
Exactly.
I said anyway,
They barely fill my memory.
I make good cookies, okay?
You do?
All right. Like I said, we have the memories of the facts that I have given beforehand. So, yeah.
Yay for memories.
Yay for memories.
Today, in the corner of Krista Speaks,
In the corner of Krista.
We will be talking about one of my favorite things to do, art.
Ooh.
Cool.
Dad, you yawn like a rabbit.
So-
you know when you can see their top and bottom teeth when they yawn.
So, what kind of art are you into? What is your current favorite? What do they call that?
Medium.
Medium. Thank you. That's a good one.
My current favorite medium would probably have to be charcoal.
You have charcoal?
I don't specifically, but we've been working on something in class, and it's a specific, like, charcoal drawing.
Cool.
And I do really good with charcoal, but it does happen to get all over my hands and
Well, I
all
mean,
over my
that's a
arms.
charcoal thing. It's okay.
You know, they invented showers for things like that.
He's not wrong.
I'm aware. And I also have PE tomorrow, so I'm probably going to sweat it off.
All right.
Okay.
So, what is your subject for your charcoal drawing, Crystalline?
My charcoal drawing subject was still life. We basically took things that were in front of us. So I had like an olden day lantern, a pitcher, an apple, and a pair of glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So I set them up, and then I drew them.
Very nice.
And then what I did after that was I took the paper that I modeled it on, and then redid it on another paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then I, like, colored over it with the charcoal and blended it out with the thing called... I can't remember what it's called right now.
I know what you're talking about.
Your
The paper stick. The little rolly paper stick.
Yeah, it's the rolled paper stick.
Smudger or something like that.
No, it's not a smudger. It has a actual name, but I don't know what it is. I think it's like a Rolio or something. It starts with an R. But, yeah, we were working on that. But my most favorite version of art, or the one that I do most often...
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people say it's controversial, but I really like doing, like...
You're controversial. You are.
I am controversial. But I like doing art of, like, animal art.
Mm-hmm.
Or as others would call it, furry art. I suppose. But I like doing, like, drawing anthropomorphic animals.
I don't think that there's anything not okay about drawing anthropomorphic.
No, anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic. After all, years ago, an animator started an entire huge,
big
global corporation, not very far from here at all,
about a mouse.
About an anthropomorphic, just about, mouse.
And he was awesome.
Get away. Go.
And somehow we ended up with Mr. Mouse.
We ended up with Mr. Mouse and Mickey Mouse.
Well, you know.
And that was made by the fantastical Walt Disney.
Mr. Walt Disney, yes. I'm a fan, can you tell?
I personally like doing like drawing anthropomorphic animals. People say it's controversial because some people don't consider it art. They consider it more of...
I don't know how you could not consider it art.
Well, it's not... I don't know how...
If people can squirt ketchup across a napkin and throw some squiggles through it and hang it in a gallery somewhere, then your sketches of anthropomorphic animals are definitely art.
Yeah, and people just think it's controversial, and I think it's kind of stupid, but besides that, yeah, that's basically all that's to it. I really like drawing anthropomorphic animals, and the most recent thing that I've done, not anthropomorphic animal-wise, but, like, drawing-wise, is that drawing of the still life.
Ah, cool.
I call it the teacher's desk.
And how are you getting along otherwise? How's school? How's life? How's Krista?
School's not great, but school isn't ever great for me, really. But at least I'm passing, and I'm passing by very slowly, but I'm also getting my missing work done.
Good girl.
Good, Krista. Life. Don't talk to me about life. Wait.
Life is fine, I guess. I'm not faring the greatest, but I'm living, so...
And now, as long as there's life, there's hope.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least that's what I read in a book somewhere.
Sometimes books aren't right, but that one was. And Dad's trying to tickle me, so that's great.
I would never, ever tickle you. How dare.
You see how bad he is at lying, guys?
Krista, I really like taking some time to check in with just you, by the way.
Yeah. And Dad just did the claps. I heard it from his headphones.
So did I. Does that mean it's time for us to get back to the show?
This was part of the show.
I know, but we'll get back to the main
original
topic
show.
of the show.
Well, I guess.
I am a main topic.
Unless Krista wants to talk some more.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day.
All right.
Second to last day of school this week.
So I will begin. In 1971, that year of bastions of fashion, like the leisure suit.
Dean running around in his cute little cowboy overalls because he was like 3.
I didn't have cowboy overalls. And my mom was one of those that...
Corduroy overalls?
No, my mom has the picture still to this day somewhere of me naked on a bearskin rug because...
Okay, but you were 3. I am pretty sure she was not having you run around naked on a bearskin rug at 3.
No, but I know I wasn't wearing a cowboy outfit. That wasn't my thing.
It's your thing now.
Okay.
You hush. So, in 1971, near Louisiana, Missouri, Joan Mills and Mary Ryan were out for a walk. They were returning home to St. Louis on Highway 79. They stopped for a picnic lunch at a small park to the northwest of Newton, Louisiana, Missouri. While they ate their lunch, they saw a black-haired biped covered in black fur. The creature stank, and the women were scared enough to flee, leaving the remains of their lunch behind. Now, it should be noted that Joan and Mary were regular churchgoers and considered upstanding members of the small St. Louis suburb where they lived. This claim put the Pike County town of Louisiana, Missouri on the map, and to this day, it is still known for sightings of Momo.
I see.
Mama. Pike.
Yeah, cool.
I'm sorry, I thought I'd make that connection.
Also around this time, a woman named Doris Bliss, as well as her 2 younger brothers, sees a creature matching Momo's description. Now, Doris at this time is fairly young, Krista's age or thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
13, 14, 12.
And her younger brothers are obviously younger than that. Now, she claims to this very day that she and her brothers saw this creature, and it was an animal not known to science.
Ooh.
So, what's Momo look like, you might wonder? Well, he's described as a very tall, black-furred creature built powerfully like a bear or a gorilla, but that same sort of powerful build. But those who have seen it swear it is not either one. Some of these people, I think, would know what a bear looks like, but whatever. It was also around this time that local police chief Shelby Ward was called to Mars Off Hill, where the creature had been recently sighted. Now, while Chief Ward did not see the creature himself, he found evidence of the creature all around the area, and he could not explain the things he found. And the things he found included fur and tracks and things of this nature. Now, this was in the 70s, so I don't know if any of that evidence survived. I kind of doubt it, but
yeah.
If it had, I would say, cool, let's go test it and find out that this thing is somehow distantly related to people. So, right now we've got about 7 people who've cited it, and of them all, the subjects that we can believe the least are the 3 kids, and even there...
Children, like small children, don't necessarily lie about a lot of stuff.
Well, but they're not small children. One's your age, and then the others are a bit younger, but still. to my mind, the fact that they came and were scared and gay says they saw something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can agree with that.
So prior to the arrival of white settlers, local tribes of Native Americans described a large, powerful hominid covered in black fur and filling the air with stench. According to these stories, the tribe gave these creatures a wide berth. The local tribes considered them quite deadly and didn't really want any truck with them.
Didn't want to truck with them.
Yeah, it's another way of saying basically they didn't want to deal with them in any way.
Didn't want to start trouble with whatever that was.
Now, in addition to the early stories by Native Americans, hunters, right up until the 1930s, often reported a large, smelly hominid that they took shots at.
That's weird.
Then the creature goes missing for 30 years. Then it reappeared in 1968 when it attempted to kidnap a small child from their backyard and drag him through the woods. The child's aunt saw what was happening through a window and ran outside to rescue the child. The creature dropped the child and ran in the woods, the only trace being the lingering foul odor.
Okay. So these are the pre-70s sightings.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then we have to talk about a kind of a downside. In late 72, Gail Suddarth claimed she had seen a Momo near her home and even found tracks. People and local authorities crawled all over the area looking for clues. And the tracks that they found at that time were sent to a wildlife expert who said that they were a hoax. And since that time, Gail has admitted to attempting to hoax the sighting. And look, just don't, guys. I mean, the very fact that science is already looking askance at things like this is a big problem. And that's part of the reason is when, John Q. Public decides, well, I'm going to make up a sighting, then you taint every sighting that there ever was. Mm-hmm. And that it's not fair because up until Gail Suddarth, we've got quite a level of believability.
Sure.
And then Gail shows up with her fake footprints and... But since the 70s, very few sightings have been reported, and the ones that have tend to be in deep wilderness areas.
So, in other words, he was dead like disco.
I don't know about dead, but I just... He certainly seems to be moving away from contact with humans, which is not unusual. The skunk ape is much the same. And I think we've talked about the skunk ape on this show.
We have talked about the skunk ape. I think the skunk ape is not real, but that's just me.
So, but Momo certainly seems to be of a part and parcel of the skunk ape. So, Krista, what do you think about Momo?
I mean,
first off, the name is horrible, but never mind. I'm not going to say that. That's very rude.
I think that they could be mistaking Momo for the skunk ape or the skunk ape for Momo.
Oh, you believe in a skunk ape?
Yes.
Oh, I'm the odd man out on this, y'all.
Han, your thoughts?
I told you, I think the name is terrible. I mean, I've been in our woods in southern Missouri. I've been around some of the areas that are inhabited, and they are clustered and full of confusing trees and rocks and all kinds of craziness. spiders that build webs the size of entire trees, and you could see anything down there and not think that it was something natural, and it be, it may very well be something that lives there that we're just not familiar with.
And see,
I think that calling it a monster is a little excessive, other than the smell, and maybe trying to snatch a kid out of a yard, which is kind of an animal thing to do. Other than those, it hasn't really done anything.
I mean, but it wouldn't an animal not drop the kid? They'd run as fast as they could.
Yeah, but
not necessarily. I mean, if an animal's starving, they'll snatch something. I mean, tigers and alligators and things have snatched.
When somebody sees them, an animal would most likely.
It attempted. It didn't actually steal. So
okay, you're not listening to me though.
You're right.
An animal, a starving animal, would take the kid and run off with it. And if somebody saw it, they wouldn't necessarily drop it. Mm-hmm. They would probably try to run faster and get away from them.
It depends on it greatly depends on the animal, because if an animal decides to go into flight mode, it'll drop everything. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And as for Momo, I don't like the name either. Mm-hmm. I don't like the idea of regionalizing everything unless there is a reason to.
Sure.
And from what I have seen and read, Momo is somewhere between a Sasquatch and a skunk ape. And I think all of those creatures are related. And so...
Well, then I guess I believe in Sasquatch. I just think skunk ape is trying to make something extra into something that's probably already a thing. I just think it's silly, but that's just me.
But I think they're all the same creature. Now, if it has enough differences, okay, fine, you've got... Or if it's the only one. Mm-hmm. We don't know that Momo is the only one. We certainly... it just... I disagree with the idea of regionalizing it, because Momo could live in, right. Arkansas. It could live in Oklahoma. It could there's a part of Missouri where there's like 3 states that it could really kind of call home. And so
there's several parts of Missouri where that's the case, actually.
Yeah. So I don't like the idea of regionalizing it. Sorry, Kansas City. I know you want your own cryptid, but I think what we got is a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch or a skunk ape or whatever. I think calling it Momo is just... It's regionalizing it just too much.
Well, but by that, so the next half of the show, that holds true to that as well. Just to throw that, because I that's very much regionalizing something.
Yeah, but the Ozark Howler, at least from the research that I did on it, is at least unique to the Ozarks. I mean, I've never seen or heard of anything like it anywhere else.
Anyway, we will get into that. So
yeah. Anyway, long story short, my feeling on the Momo is that what we have here is some version of Bigfoot, and we don't need to regionalize it by calling it Momo. We can just call it Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever. That's always been my take on it, and my research didn't shift my opinion from that very much at all. That being said, I think we should take a moment for a word from our sponsors.
I guess I feel sponsored, but I'm too excited about getting to share the other half of our show with everybody to focus on it too much. See, couldn't even remember what it was called. So, now we're going to talk about the Ozark Howler. It also is known by some other names, such as the Ozark Black Howler. You really want me to say this one? The Hoo-Hoo.
Which that one
The Nightshade Bear and the Devil Cat. I think somebody was just getting creative. That's like, why? But okay. All right.
The only one I might slightly believe is the Ozark Black Howler.
Yeah, the Hoo-Hoo and the Nightshade Bear. So the Hoo-Hoo just, I don't know, that somebody was hitting the moonshade, or the moonshine.
And they were just like, oh, it's time for me to be an owl.
Hey, it's time for me to be stupid. And
they saw
the Nightshade Bear and Devil Cat. I believe the
Nightshade Bear just sounds
them
like
on Tinder.
You're not on Tinder.
I know. I was just trying to be funny.
I like the Nightshade Bear.
I also like that one, but I don't believe
they're
it.
they're like candles. Those aren't cryptid names. I'm just saying.
No, the Nightshade Bear is something you'd run across in D&D.
Sure.
You come into the clearing and suddenly you are attacked by a Nightshade Bear. No, not a Nightshade Bear.
It just sounds like a really cute mood board type thing.
Sure. Absolutely. I love it.
And the Devil Cat, that just sounds like a team, It
just sounds like a hybrid.
No, it sounds like a team, like the Independence.
How about a snack cake?
That actually does sound kind of like a snack cake.
Maybe.
Like a Japanese snack cake.
I was more just thinking like, the Ozark Devil Cats take the field, and like, it's a team name.
Sure, that definitely that would do it too. Absolutely.
As for the Hoo-Hoo,
or maybe a disease.
As for the Hoo-Hoo, I think someone was bored
shit.
And they saw.
Did you hear about Stan? He got the Devil Cat.
And as for Hoo-Hoo,
what was?
I want to say that one's probably old,
or moonshine.
I'm going to say old because it sounds like the sort of thing that in a 1930s movie, y'all watch out for the Hoo-Hoo now.
Y'all watch out for the Hoo-Hoo.
But here's the thing, though. That's funny that you say that. But so recently, in the last 30 years or so, it has been seen in remote parts of Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Its cry is described as, and I'm not sure how you would know that all of these were, how you would know what the combination of these would sound like, but the combination of a wolf's howl, an elk's bugle, which I believe is like their mating call.
I just assumed it was a noise that elk
laugh of a hyena. I don't have any clue how the three of those might commingle, but that's what they say. So in 1999, Prince was putting out great music, and a new amusement park was opened in Branson, Missouri.
Vegas for people without teeth.
That was not nice.
Honest, but not nice. You're right.
Oh.
Ow, Krista.
So we're going to put Dean in a corner.
I didn't do it.
So almost immediately it began to fail financially. And it was purchased in 2003 by the owners of Silver Dollar City, who renamed the park Celebration City. I There's an extra letter in there. I was thinking celebration? No, just celebration. As the owners began to repair the park, parts of it were used as campsites by visiting scouting troops. A scout troop staying in the area encountered an Ozark Howler near Celebration City. They fled upon seeing the beast, and most refused to return.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, those are some smart kids or young people.
Because
I'm not going back there. There's some large, creepy man hanging off of the...
Well, it's Howler's not even a man. It's like a bear-sized cat with horns.
Even worse. Ooh. You think it was licking itself?
I don't know what it was doing, but I just know if I saw one, I wouldn't go to where if one was in this room, I would never come in this room again for fear it would harm me.
I doubt that. I feel like if Apollo was in here, you're coming in.
Not if he's hanging out with an Ozark Howler.
Apollo would be like, nah, that is cool. It's cool. We tight.
Krista?
So anyway...
Yes.
That was just one story. Off of Route 533 in Seymour, Oklahoma, a local sheriff puts out an APB on the Ozark Howler, including a full description of the creature. No other officers were able to locate the beast, but he swore that he saw this animal. Or whatever it was.
Yeah. I'm of two minds with that. One, he's an officer, so clearly he's a trained observer, at least to some extent. But it's also in Seymour, Oklahoma, and anytime we bring up the name Seymour, all I can hear is, suddenly Seymour is in Oklahoma.
We have talked about Seymour, Oklahoma a couple other times, haven't we?
Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like we have.
We probably have. We have more than 100 episodes.
And then also, and this is just a product of my age, but we start talking about Seymour, and I remember Seymour the sea monster from some kids show.
You lost me there. It must have been in this early 80s. I'll be nice.
No, it was probably the 70s, and it was, like I said, it was some sort of puppet sea monster.
Yes, and I was only alive in the 70s for 2.5 years, so I have no clue.
Well, how very, very in 2-2.
You bet. So...
He keeps trying to...
Also, there have been sights of strange creatures reported in the area going much further back. So since the area was largely founded by Irish, Scottish, and Welsh settlers, many guess that early sightings of a beast referred to or believed to be a Cusith or a Kushi.
Okay.
Similar to the Irish Banshee or the Welsh, and I'm probably butchering all of these names, so I apologize to all of these people, or the Welsh Quinn Anwin?
You got me. Welsh is one of those languages I look at and go, that's too many consonants. I would like to buy a vowel.
So, yes, for anyone who maybe understands or speaks Welsh much better than me, CW with a little caret above it, NANNWN.
Yeah, I want to buy it.
Yes, we need to buy a few vowels. But in that was believed to be very similar to the banshee, a creature that was believed to be a hound that would come to bear away the soul of a person to the afterlife. So according to the Scottish folklore, this was said to be the size of a young bull with the appearance of a wolf, its fur being shaggy and usually cited as being dark green, though sometimes white. Its tail was sometimes described as being long and either coiled up or plaited or braided. And its paws are described as being the width of a man's hand. And to me, that doesn't sound anywhere near as big for a paw as for a creature that we're talking about. That
look
seems,
at Dad's hand.
I do, but that seems small for a big, massive beast like that. But that's just me. So according to legend, the creature was capable of hunting silently, but would occasionally let out 3 terrifying bays, and only 3 that could be heard for miles by those listening for it, even far out at sea. Those who hear the baying of the Kusith must reach safety by the 3rd bark or be overcome with terror to the point of death.
No pressure, though.
Right, exactly. No time limit here. So those kinds of stories of sightings and experiences had taken place all the way back into as early as the 1700s in some areas.
Well, if we're talking Scotland, I don't think Missouri was settled by Europeans until the 1800s.
Was that 1800? You're right. But we're not talking about just Missouri. We're talking about the...
Right, where... Yeah.
And this was settlers, but then before that, there would have been most likely Indian tribes in that area as well.
Yep.
So later, 2 men hiking through some woods on the Missouri part of the Ozarks discussed camping out in a remote area on a hike. When awaking, they heard a strange call.
I think the way I initially wrote that means the call woke them.
Oh. So they decided to camp out in the remote area, and while they were camping,
they heard a strange call.
Which awoke them from their sleep. Neither one could identify this call, and so they started their day and began hiking through, and just like any other day, they were very used to hiking through these woods. They did it all the time. Once they were roused from their slumber, they emerged from their tent to see a huge cat-like creature, big as a bear with horns and red eyes. The creature snorted in their direction, and the 2 men ran, fleeing from the creature until they eventually came upon their truck. They reported the creature and returned to reclaim their things a few days later. When they did, the tent was torn apart as if with a massive creature's claws.
Okay. First of all, if I come out of a tent and I see something as big as a bear, but it looks like a cat with horns and red eyes,
yeah,
I don't care what noise it makes. I'm running away. It can say hi. I'm running away.
But why would you go back for your stuff?
Daylight? I don't know.
No, not by myself.
I don't know. But yeah.
I don't care. I'm taking whatever I can grab and running.
I ain't taking nothing. I ain't going back there. I ain't taking no chance.
No, I'm not going back there. I'm grabbing whatever I can and then booking it. I hear a noise. I'm taking it out.
It says they went back.
Why'd they go back? Don't go back.
They went back to get their stuff. But I understand.
Keep the stuff.
I understand getting your stuff. You come in at 8, you leave by 10, you don't see the creature.
No.
They can still freaking see you, though.
I understand getting your stuff, but yeah, I would come with a large. Maybe they brought more people. I don't know. Maybe there was like 4 people. You guys stand here with guns. We're going to get our stuff. If you see anything other than us, shoot it.
Shoot it. Right? Yeah, sure. That's a freaking lately. All right. So another story in the woods near Pottsboro, Texas, which is very near the Oklahoma border. Several people witnessed or heard the Ozark Howler back in 2012. So there were multiple reports from this same wooded area near Pottsboro, Texas.
And with the description of this of this thing's call, you would not be one you'd forget easy.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it would stand to imagine that people tell each other, you know, hey, we heard this. It sounded like this. So, those campfire stories as they are. So again, there were sightings. There was a sighting in 2013 when in southern Missouri, a lone hunter encountered a creature that fit the description of the Ozark Howler. He was terrified when he encountered the creature and he ran for his life. But he swears that he will always remember the look of the creature that he ran across, and it haunts his nightmares.
And see, that's something else, is we're dealing here with like locals and hunters. They know what bears look like. I mean, I've seen a pic, like, if I remember right, the skeptical take on this is, well, they're just misidentifying bears.
Nope.
I've seen a bear with mange. It looks like a bear.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So in 2017, multiple people near Eagle Rock, Missouri, spotted a creature that again matched the description of the Ozark Howler. Because there were so many reports, it prompted a hunting party that went into the woods to attempt to hunt and kill the beast. However, after hours of searching the area, they never found any sign of the creature.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's sitting in an outhouse somewhere, going, "I'm not even."
Well, no, it was sitting over in Devil's Den State Park.
Oh, okay.
Because back in 2015, near Devil's Den State Park, a hiker took a picture that he claimed was an Ozark Howler. So far, actually, they've sent this picture to be, of course, looked at by people that are those state
experts.
game and wildlife folk, the people who really are the experts on this type of thing, and people who look at photos to tell if they've been doctored, those kinds of things. And so far, no one has been able to prove that it is an actual picture or that it isn't. Now, after 2017, there hasn't been a lot of people claiming to have witnessed the Ozark Howler or seen it. However, back in 2020, over the summer, there was a witness statement from a small village called Ginger Blue that sits on the northern shore of the Elk River in Missouri.
Ooh.
It wasn't a sighting, though, as I said it, more as they heard. So the witness had posted this information online and posted, "I live in a cabin in a valley that sits right on a river with nothing but bluffs, deep woods, and hollers behind me in southern Missouri."
Apparently, he ain't no holler back girl.
Or guy, for that matter. The witness writes, "I've heard and seen lots of things living here, but on this night was a creature I'd never heard." And they go on to give a description of the sounds that the creature made. And that they have a general idea of where the sound was coming from. They go on to say that family members think it's most likely the Ozark Howler. They finish off their statement by saying, "I believe my neighbor shot at it or killed it."
Well, he does live in the Ozarks, so that's likely. Those people will shoot at anything.
Besides what the witness who was hearing a strange call and his family thought back in 2020, skeptics claim that it's most likely, as you said, that escaped bull or a bear or other misidentified creature. So, I mean, if you're going to be a skeptic, also they claim that Momo is probably a misidentified bear. So there you go.
Yeah.
Or just a creature that we didn't know of yet. Like, there are constantly new species that we don't even know of. Like, it's sort of like that whole thing. We only know, like, a certain % of the ocean and a certain % of space. You don't always know what's going on in the world.
Right.
Look, at some point in the 80s, a bear ate cocaine.
Oh.
And it killed him. Now, they made a movie based on it, and that it's not so simple, but a bear ate cocaine. If there is a cocaine-eating bear, there can be a Momo. There can be a Ozark Howler. I'm just saying.
Well, I guess that's one way of looking at it.
I'm just saying. Then I guess my template on this is the Native Americans, and they are very open to such creatures. Now, to some extent, they're cultural admonitions given form, but to some extent, I think they're real creatures that the Native Americans encountered on a regular basis and created a verbal culture to instruct their young. Stay away from these things.
Sure. What do you think, Krista?
I'm not really sure what to say. I feel like I've said my part.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
I called it by its name. Woo-hoo.
No, he tickled me.
Well, I finished us off with the telling. So,
and that's our show.
Yes, absolutely. That's our show. Do you want to thank all the people, Ben?
I do want to thank all the people, especially all the people keeping Krista from biting me right now. Thank you for listening, everyone. As always, thank you for continuing to listen. Thanks to Bill Barrett, who does our theme music. Bill, I did put your name out for some work. I was teaching yet another class on an introduction to podcasting.
Was a good class, yes,
last night.
Absolutely.
Mention your name to them, so you might get a call. Also, if you have a project that needs music for, Bill's probably a good guy for you to reach out to because he is a musical genius. And you can reach him at Bill Barrett, and that last name is spelled BEHRENDT at sbcglobal.net.
Mm-hmm.
Also, thanks to Paige Elmore of Reverie True Crime, an excellent true crime podcast, who, along with our own Krista, did logo art for us. Thank you, Paige.
Thank you, Paige.
And thanks to Aaron Gnurk of the Big Dumb Fun Show, who continues to promote us locally. Thank you, Aaron. Join us next week as we look into Atlantis and other sunken civilizations in yet another deep dive on the Family Plot podcast.
Honey, you're so punny.
Bye.
Bye.